He will dispatch his angels with a mighty trumpet blast, and they will assemble his chosen from the four winds, from one horizon to the other. In the old calendar, my friends, this cosmic, magnificent gospel is the last of the year. As you know, the Feast of Christ the King in the new calendar has been put from the end of October on this day. But actually, it's not that different, for what are we seeing? The Son of Man, the King of Glory, the last word. It's as well to remember that no matter how many loud words we have to listen to here on earth, and when you are put down, as was the King of Glory by his own, remember that your worth does not depend on other people's opinions. You are worth what you are worth. And if you react too strongly to other people's opinions, you are showing that you are, as it were, giving them authority over you and allowing them to judge. They too are going to be judged by the Son of Man, who gave you the example, Jesus autem tacebat. He kept his dignity before Herod and Pilate. Dignity, for his glory is not of this world, and neither is yours. Many, and many still, have and will look for their glory from other men. What is the great wild goose chase after success, celebrity, but some of that? It's now usually subtle. Followers on internet, popularity, a name, but it's the same problem. It's been there all through human history, and we do well to remember the unhappy ending of many who spent their energy and days on that wild goose chase. Great potentates often had a very unhappy ending. I can think of at least two great powers who have come up in exorcism and been heard. They had great influence over history at their time, but they have been obliged to admit where they are at now. I can name, for instance, the voice of Nero, who has been heard in exorcism, and more recently, Hitler. So glory, my friends, is not of this world. Let's just pause for a minute at the death of such people, without pointing a finger, but just to remind us what matters and what doesn't. People who, at the last moment, opt for escape through suicide may not actually be escaping anything at all. To avoid human judgment, they might incur a greater. And they certainly will be made aware. People, for instance, young people who commit suicide to escape something are shown immediately the pain they leave behind. A girl might be shown the children that she was to have, and so on. We can't imagine the shock of seeing the truth 1 second later, when all eternity is irreversibly fixed. I don't mean they're all damned, but I mean this: the issue is there, eternity. Not fame, not pain to be escaped, but glory to be won where it is truly to be found. Our own Harry Ruthven, a Welshman by descent, Henry VIII, was a tyrant. He damaged hugely English culture and the church and didn't have a happy ending. I heard from somebody actually that he was not completely lost, but that he was in the lowest level of purgatory until the end of the world. I don't know, I just heard it from somebody. It's all a mystery, but it's more of the same thing: power and glory. On this day, this very morning, 2 Irish girls are making the solemn profession in an atmosphere of a hidden glory, and also receiving the consecration of virgins. It's in the monastery I go to every year, and they are completely hidden in the King of Glory himself, forgotten and unknown to this world. No attention seeking, just disappearing with the angels, who also are not heard in this world. Maybe when it comes to judgment, there will be a huge upturning of values. I want to, in a second, go back to a choice I remember having to be made way back in Italy. A letter had come from the Prior of St. Antimo, the founder, inviting to go there, but also showing the difference between being outside in the world and being in an atmosphere which was angelic in mode. In a few words in a letter, he summed up what it was to be a being of praise. Laus Gloriae, the praise of glory. Can you see how to disappear and not seek any attention in this world, but to be a giver of glory unto the Most High is a very different optic. And I remember actually being hugely consoled by the fact that these young brethren were able, as a band, to produce something resembling on earth the choirs of angels in heaven. It just worked. Why? Because they had received power from the distant past. Beauty from the heart of the church, the voice of unchanging glory in medieval chant, in a medieval building, on a medieval high altar, facing the unchanging rising sun at dawn. Glory. And also invisible friends, the angels. For there, my friends, the frontier is very, very thin. And there, one is touching the fringe of glory, truly. There are some here, my friends, who have their life ahead of them. Men, women can let you down, big time. Think of the many suicides that come from that. I was talking to somebody just the other day. His lover had gone off with someone else, and he resorted to a weed killer, which doesn't spare. Completely burns your throat and kills immediately. He had a great send-off, so great that he was, as it were, beatified. And one of his friends was there and was so impressed by the send-off that he wanted a similar send-off himself. So went off with himself and cast himself in the Boyne so as to have a glorious send-off. A glorious send-off. A glorious, glorious send-off to eternity with a bad beginning. There are many bad beginnings to eternity. And so, in that realm, of unrequited love, it's as well to have the alternative also of not being let down. Our soul is made for eternity and for its maker. It cannot be completely satisfied even by another human being. It's meant for more. So any young people here, male or female, at the end of this liturgical year, ask yourself, with all eternity before you, which way do I want to go, now and forever? In that same monastery, as guest master, I always gave the guests and the tutors one meditation somewhere in their retreat. Go up there to the cemetery and make your meditation by a tomb of your choice. Place yourself at your last moment and ask yourself, arriving at this point, what would I have wanted to do with my one innings?